So, jetzt sitzen wir hier zusammen mit Viesturs und Jannis, die beiden Gründer von DoFinance. Und Lars ist natürlich auch noch mit dabei, weil Lars hat DoFinance auch schon ausprobiert, ich hingegen noch gar nicht. Aber wir werden das Interview natürlich auch in Englisch jetzt führen, ab diesem Moment. And yeah, so in the beginning it's always interesting to get to know the founders and what was your idea behind DoFinance?
Yeah, actually a very interesting question. It's, you know, this has been the hot topic for a while, and yeah, since we have had very colorful experience ourselves, so we decided why not to give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, well, we started it, and we not just tried, but we actually accomplished something, and we are on the way of accomplishing even more.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it's really very hard to tell exactly what triggered the specific idea, but somehow it came in naturally, and yeah, so here we are, and
you were
if I can add a little bit more on that, it's like yeah, we both have previous experience from different kind of business. I come from banking. Johannes come from actually he started as a manager in a real estate company, and yeah, so we each of us had some previous experience. Actually, the idea about starting this microfinance business itself was already like since 2009, but then we somehow abandoned the plan. I don't know, it's for good or bad, but meanwhile the market like developed pretty significantly, and we came back to this idea. Actually, it was Yannis' idea at one moment. Okay, you know it from inside. We have the knowledge, we have the experience, like risk management experience. We had the managerial experience, how to build things, how to build internet websites, and so on. So we just one moment put together that okay, we have everything that's needed for starting this business, and also we had already possibility to see the mistakes and the issues that some of our current competitors had. So what we did, we basically took a very good shortcut. So I believe we accomplished the results that others was doing for 5-6 years. Eventually we are there basically in 2.5 years of active operation.
Mm-hmm.
So we are already have reached the results in the financing and as well as in peer-to-peer business.
Mm-hmm. You could avoid some mistakes maybe.
We avoided a lot of mistakes.
Did you invest in the other platforms before so that you can get experience?
Actually, I am active investor for a while already in other platforms. I'm investing in average 10 to 20 euro, not in thousands, sorry, in most of the platforms, just to be all the time, just to receive all the newsletters and
for research, yeah.
And see it as research. Of course, I trust and I do believe in the business that we run. So
Mm-hmm.
we are active managers, and as well as the biggest investors of
Mm-hmm.
of our platform and our company, of course.
Okay. What about you?
yeah, actually, yeah, Viesturs explained very well. So for me, it's yeah, we are active not just in this business, but also on different businesses. But like Viesturs said, this is when we do things, we do them like from the heart. So if you are doing something from the heart, you believe it, and you believe it till the death, so to say. So like Viesturs said, we are. Yeah, my experience is exactly the same. Well, all of the resources that I would like to invest, I'm investing in our company and in our business to grow it. And yeah, this is actually one of our little pieces of our DNA, that when we do things, we trust them, and we are ready to show to other investors that, hey guys, this is not something like, this is Bundesbank, this is not Lehman Brothers, so it may be maybe from some perspective we look very conservative. At the same time, anyone can come and we can show, listen guys, this is anything here is like part of like biggest part of our money is there. So you are welcome to share our experience, and yeah, so you know, the last money you want to risk with is your own. So this is kind of a proof that we believe in our business, and yeah, so we are there.
Okay.
Now you talked about your ideas for the platform, but what is the main difference between DoFinance and the other peer-to-peer lenders?
I would give that the best description is that because we came in pretty late in this market already, when some of the platforms were already there for a time. Actually, to start the platform, to open the so to say, even to open accounts for the platform, to get all the necessary bits and pieces for operation, it required from us already to go through a different way. So eventually our partners already know what does it mean. So if 5 or 6 years ago or 3 years even ago, when first platforms opened up, so basically you just go to bank, you say, I'm just opening an account. Today you go to bank, okay, what do you do? What's the plan? You know, like the banking system 3 years ago and today is completely different animal. Mm-hmm. Like all the anti-money laundering, know your client issues, and all these items are basically non-existent 3 years ago. No, they were yes, we have AML, but not real. Mm-hmm. Today, you actually have to prove to the bank that you know your client, you know where the client comes from, you know, and you can prove not only to the client but also to bank that basically service you that the money that's invested by investor is not used for my trip to Mauritius, yeah, but it's used only then and when you click invest in specific loans, that it's actually used to finance these specific loans in the specific amount. So this is actually our main difference that I can say for sure, that any euro that comes into account is waiting until investor says that I want to invest it. And he clicks auto invest or manual invest, and it goes to a designated investment. Mm-hmm. Whenever it comes back to this account, to the physical account, not just virtual, to our physical account of investors. And again, it waits until there will be either manual reinvestment or again a client will press auto invest for a certain period. Mm-hmm. So actually this traceability of investments is the key. Why actually we are, I believe, one of the very rare current platforms that have accounts in our Scandinavian banks. So I believe that actually this is one issue that we took really seriously, and we said that basically we are able to show to any our counterpart, whether it's partner or investor, that how your money is flowing. Mm-hmm. And if I know how the money is flowing in and out, and when it gets to the customer and when it gets back, this is basically, if you would ask us about how we safeguard the money. So this is the main principle. We know where your money is, and if we know it, considering the business specific how we operate in short-term loans, mm-hmm. up to 1 month. So basically we track the flow of the money continuously. And it cannot be a situation even that suddenly appears some amounts that that the platform cannot service. It's just simply not possible due to basic architecture of the platform. That the principle is created that from the like to say bottom up. So you drive the car in a sense. We just provide the platform and what actually peer-to-peer is about. We have created the platform and you're the driver. You say when I invest, when I take it out, when I reinvest, and it always is reflected in the physical accounts. So that's a key.
And in your experience in the other platforms, that's not the case always, or?
I haven't had a chance to get into the, I would say, behind the scenes of those platforms. I can't say it. I wish they have as well.
Well, actually, there is one example which everyone knows. It's I don't remember. It was Lending Club or the other. What was the? There was a scandal. Yeah, Lending Circle. Sorry. Where they couldn't really reconcile.
Is that from USA? Or?
They couldn't really reconciliate the funds till the very end. So when the controlling institutions came, so that was a huge actually problem. So in our case, I would like to add that we are developing the system in a way that first we did a lot of things and a lot of work. In the part which is not so visible to our client or investor. So and this is related to the all transparency issues, which we don't want to have this headache. So we better do things properly, and this is the fundament of our company. So when you are building a house, you want to have something solid on the ground. But if we talk about the difference of our the part which is visible to the client. So in that sense, we are still developing since we are a pretty new company. But like you can see from the very start, our aim is there is a very trendy this concept of one-click something. So one-click purchase, one-click doing something. In our case, we are in the process of one-click investment. So by this we mean that in the end the investor wants to invest the money. Like when you go to the bank and you make a deposit, you are not always interested in very specific details where the bank is putting the money to which client and etc. In our case, we think that we should really focus on the main business, which is investing money and making investment easy and accessible to understandable to anyone. If we have a professional investor who really wants to invest and really wants to get into the detail, he can do so for the reasons that Vestor just mentioned. If you want, you can track the very last cent of your investment. If you are a starter or you are this is your first time, so you just want to invest and you want to see the results. So then we don't want to make this huge, procedures in between to scare you away from this. So what you can see from our platform, it's super easy. It's really, the product is very simple. If you want to go into the detail, you can do so. If you don't, or you don't have the knowledge yet, so you just go and everything is like black and white. Invest there, you have these 3 terms, this return, just do it. If you want something different, so there is option 1, 2, 3. So I have option 1 to 1000 when you don't even use them. So we have it very simple, and this is our concept as well. This is actually in the future, this is where we want to grow, because we want to develop the service which is very easy and very easy to understand. At the same time, if you want to have the details, you can have them.
Okay. You said you have 3 terms, but you have 4, right? You have 1
no, plus
plus the manual. Well, I mean, I don't treat it as let's say we have this option because
There are people who just want.
At the same time, if you are an investor and you want to invest 10,000 euros, so you wouldn't want to go through, I don't know, 100, 500 loans and pick each and every one of them. So from that perspective, that is, I believe, a little bit too complicated. But still possible.
Okay. What kind of loans are issued on the platform? Like car loans or consumer loans?
No, these are consumer loans. These are short term, up to 30 days. So in this case, this is a little bit of a challenge for this transparency, because when you invest, and even if you do the auto invest, where the money is reinvested constantly, so the system has to really do a lot of job to trace each and every loan where the money is reinvested, because if we are talking about bigger amounts of money, so this amount of information is it's circulating very fast, and you have to make a lot of effort to trace it to the very fine detail. And this is why it took for us quite a lot of work and effort to develop such a system. So and in terms of the safety of the underlying loans, so we strongly believe that still these are consumer loans, and if you look at all the P2P, most of the P2P platforms, a lot of investments are, a lot of the underlying these loans are quite far from you. So you want to take as little risk as possible. So from our perspective, we treat that short-term loans is one of the safest options, because it's very short, so the underlying amount for that the person has borrowed is still smaller, significantly smaller than his salary. So whatever happens, except wars, or hopefully they will never happen in Europe, but whatever happens, the person will still have the last salary, last compensation, whatever, and he will always be able to repay the underlying loan. So by knowing that, we are having this very good buyback option, which means that we are buying back at the very last day of the loan, because we truly believe that the loans under the investment are the safest option that's possible. So we are again ready to take money out of our pocket just in case something happens. Here you are, don't worry about what's there. At the same time, we thank God we don't have to take out the money from our pocket, because everything happens smoothly.
Of course, this buyback principle means that we take care of the recovery process if the customer is delaying the repayment. So we take this risk. We cover also subsequently the defaults if they happen, that's.
But won't that also be a risk for you if, for example, there's a economic crisis and a lot of also short-term loans start to default, that you have to buy back a lot of loans that you didn't anticipate, or like the black swan is coming?
Yeah, actually that's why we are working with the short-term loans, because crisis doesn't happen in one day. Never. Also, 2008 crisis, which was one of the heaviest here probably, we felt the signs of the crisis in 2005, when all the market was still booming, and it was booming for 2 more years. We felt that there's something wrong happening, wrong in terms of policy making, wrong in terms of spending on time when you should be spending less from the government side. There were signs, and thanks God, also we in our business we took right decisions, and actually we, instead of losing in 2008, that was when we did our business actually. We did
went
all
short
the
on the
exits
market?
from the real estate until 2008. So,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, so eventually.
So what would happen if, for example, you anticipate that there's going to be another crisis? Would you then eliminate the buyback guarantee, or would you like reduce the amount of the? Or?
What I would do, first of all, we are not. Our aim is to work in a long-term business. So what it would mean? It would mean that we would make more if we feel that there is a risk of increasing of non-performing loan percentage. So what we do, we adjust our scoring systems so that they don't let through so many customers. They cut off the riskier ones.
Okay.
So we would adjust our policy, because our aim is not to grow for sake of growing. It should be a profitable and reasonable growing. So if growth, if we see that we can do a sustainable business in terms of increasing risks by decreasing some of the amounts, so we better do less business but still profitable. The same refers to buyback. So eliminating of buyback actually could be a theoretical solution only in case if the market gets even more stable and we can prove more stable results. So then I can go to our customers and say, you know, I have good news for you. You are able to maybe generate more profits due to that. Because by issuing buyback, of course, this is actually the biggest part. Where is the difference between the interest rate what consumer is paying and what investor is getting? Basically, this buyback is
your hedge.
This is our hedge, and this is the biggest cost that we incur. So in case if there would not be a buyback from our side, we could be offering much higher interest rates at the moment. But again, I'm not willing to put you or any investor in a seat of recovery process, because that's not the aim. I'm the active behind this table, and I will do the full recovery. I'm willing to keep you safe. Of course, you acknowledge all the risks again, risks associated with some force majeures or some adverse, decisions by, some government or something. If, who could save from the decision that some government just come up and say, okay,
no one.
Everyone's released, But unless this kind of unlikely situation would happen, in all the other cases, we know how to work with the recovery process, and that's our business.
But is it also maybe like for a risky investor possible to say, okay, so for this investor who wants more interests, that he can invest in loans where you eliminate the buyback guarantee, or do you say no, we want to keep it simple and have it like
this? Was something that we have been discussing, but again, I would say that for the moment I would better keep it simple and straightforward, because there can be risks that there's funny things about human greediness. Sometimes human greediness overcomes resistance of brain. And
you don't trust the investor.
No, I trust fully, first of all, but I have seen also mistakes done by myself. That I didn't thought it really carefully what I'm doing, and there's kind of a chance, and let's grab it. I grab it, and then I read small print, and then it's too late. And I I would not like to put any of investor in this place, because I was at that moment, I'm not stupid, but at some point of time I was too lazy to read some small print or something, and I just dropped it. So why risk with this?
Okay, that's reasonable. Also saves you reputation if.
The reputation is everything in this business. Yeah. So.
True. Yeah.
Okay, you have more question?
Yeah. If I look on your market, I see only loans from Poland, right?
Yeah.
But your main supply is from Indonesia.
Yeah, that is true. At the same time, like we said, we do things like properly and for the sake of the long run. When we will be sure that we can guarantee the same terms as we can guarantee for the Polish loans, you will see Indonesian loans on our platform. You will see several other exotic countries where we are actually right now launching the business. So in terms of that, safety first, let's say, and that's actually the reason, because we really want to understand all the risks, what are there. These are new, very exotic markets. We want to see what's happening there for more than a few months. We want to see what's happening there after 1-2 years. If we see stability and ability to forecast things and understand the risks, then immediately at the same day you will see these loans there. So again, this is like our step by step and security, and it's not a coincidence that one of the two biggest shareholders is a professional risk manager. So so you can see the results in this business.
Before we come here, we visited Invest. And they have withholding tax on the Polish loans. Why don't have this?
It's actually the question regarding the withholding tax issue has been brought up, and we are solving it with the technology side, that we must be able to track again the same story. If we can track the loan, and we can put together that if private individual from Poland is repaying to you as to investor directly the loan just by using our platform, then there's no withholding. So if you get the interest from us as a platform and not from him directly, and it's not channeled directly, then there is a withholding. There should be a withholding. So in that sense, it just means that it's more difficult, this traceability. I can't say that. Again, from their side, this is safest approach. You can't challenge whatever. Can I trace it or not? I go safe. So this is easy way, but in our case, what we do, we
can easily
trace it, and if the case comes and we need to prove that we paid that the taxes are paid, or who needs to pay the tax, then we can say, okay, we are a platform, we are channeling it. So if a private individual from Poland borrowed from investor from Germany, let's say 100 zloty, then on the interest there is no withholding, and the one who's responsible for paying the tax is the German investor. It's very simple. That's the peer-to-peer ideology. So but at the same time, there are ongoing discussions also with the Polish taxation authorities, also here local tax authorities. This is a topic that's been hot for a few months, and but we still believe that we can do it in this way if the authorities will one day say, you know, guys, better do it different. So okay, they can prove us.
Yeah. Okay.
We are acting accordingly.
Okay. So every platform has its own decision to handle this.
Yes, I believe that it's actually it's a tough question. It really makes just to pay this withholding from whole amount makes your life easy. On one hand. On the other hand, you know, what if you should be paying only 10% of that? I don't know. It's a good question.
Yes.
Yeah. So there are like pros and cons for each of the approaches. Yeah.
So what are your plans for 2018 for the platform?
Platform?
The plans are I already briefly started this discussion about the Asia and the Southeast Asian region. So we've been monitoring that market actually since also 2015 or even a little bit before. So our plan is it is actually to have we have already some knowledge. So what I told you is the roadmap, but we are already we made biggest part of the road. So eventually I would say that at some point of time in 2018 I would see the loans from these further regions. But of course there are a lot of things associated to that. It's not that simple as it may sound. So that's why like I said, I will repeat myself again, that we are doing things properly from the very start. So we are not testing by well, at least not with the let's say foreign money. We are not risking like someone else is putting someone else's money at the risk before we know the risk. So that's basically. I wouldn't like to go into very specific detail because it's still a very competitive market, so we don't want to disclose everything before the time. But
sure.
One thing is this one. The second thing is we are really looking into the product itself and which is related to different currencies, and so we are looking a lot into that direction as well, because we understand that there are investors from several countries and also from the countries that have different currencies, as well as the loan originators have different currencies. So we are looking into that direction and how to make this even more attractive to the investor.
Okay. Last question from me. You just also mentioned the competitive landscape. What I personally want to know is, do you know privately other people from other companies, and do you like go drink a beer? Is it like a healthy competition, or is it some beef also?
Well, I wouldn't say we are going to drink beer all the time. Not too often. At the same time,
just formally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Personally, of course, we know most of the operators and the people behind that. So we have from time to time conversations and discussions how to do it, and we share. Well, we usually it's very profitable also to share some information which is important for the whole industry. A lot of that relates to the risks of the industry, to the risks to the let's say the loans and the places where you invest the money, because it affects. We don't want anyone to fail in the.
I was thinking about that.
We want everyone to succeed, because if someone fails, this will be very big damage to the whole industry, and we are in the same boat. So our intention is to when we see someone else is doing something not very good, so of course we want to share and discuss why you're doing this way, or because still, like I said, same boat. So
better tell to colleague that come on, it's not okay, then later see the result in the wrong way. Sure.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, because like if Nestle fails, then Unilever says, "Wow, cool, a lot of market share." But I also thought in P2P, then if one platform fails, maybe all of the investors from the others say, "Oh my God, is it safe anymore?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
especially the German one.
Yeah. But
we will get a shitstorm then.
Yeah.
I told you from the beginning.
But again, I would. That's why I would still stress that there are few things that you should know as investor. Watch out. One is also what we have stated to us that DoFinance is just one of the pillars of funding for our Alpha Finance group lending activities. So it will never be like 80%. It will more likely be this 20 to 30%. So we will not, again, we will try to put the right mix of the funding all the time, so that there are also different risks associated with each type of investment. So we should be thinking about longer term bonds with some institutional investors. We should be working with some bigger private investors who also eventually semi-institutional, who also act like where we also issue like a bonds, and then there is a part only that we put to the market as peer-to-peer platform. That is one thing that's important, and again, if the market is shaking up again, as we said, we still don't have loans from Indonesia on the site. Nevertheless, we know we are behind it. So we want to be sure that that there is the NPLs in the correct level, everything works in correct way, all the transfers work in the correct way. Only then we will onboard our own activity to the peer-to-peer platform. So because I put the biggest importance to this correct onboarding process, that I know what I'm doing, what I'm offering to the market. That's the biggest insurance policy that we think before doing.
Okay, that's a good closing word, right?
I have a last important question.
Oh, okay.
You are a fintech, so why are you wearing suits?
We have today
and a tie.
Actually, it's like in the invitation it was written dark suit for tonight. So we are going to premiere of opera. So so we are very formal. It's not our usual, but still, that was funny to acknowledge. Oh yes, we have the meeting with you guys, and
so normally t-shirt and flip-flops.
Not really, no.
A little bit too cold maybe for flip-flops, but
actually white shirt is kind of our form, no tie.
Okay.
But
in white shirt for many reasons. I think it's a little bit also symbolic, like for example in Singapore, all the parliamentary deputies are wearing white all the time.
Yes, true.
It's to show that there is no black stain on me, so this is like a rather symbolic thing, but in our case, I do believe, yes, it's fintech and everything, but you have to still follow some order. Maybe we are a little bit conservative in this, in our perception, but I think in this business still you have to be a little bit conservative. Even though it's fintech, it's super modern, it's hippie kind of thing, but
yes, sure, I'm only joking.
Actually, I come from a banking. I used to work and used to be head of corporate banking in one of the leading banks here. So also since then, this kind of a style that still you wouldn't see both of us also in a casual day wearing flip-flops or that wouldn't be me.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Yeah. So
when does the opera start?